Welcome to US Coins World. What if I told you that some of the rarest and most valuable US coins might be hiding right under your nose? Today, we're uncovering incredible treasures, coins so rare, they could make you a fortune overnight. Ready to discover hidden history and cash in on some amazing finds? Let's dive in. Top 1 today, I have a fascinating story for you about one of the most captivating coins in the United States numismatic world, the New Hampshire State Quarter from the year 2000. This coin isn't just any quarter, it's a treasure hiding in plain sight, and if you're a collector or just someone curious about coins, you're going to want to listen carefully and stick around till the very end because this coin could be worth a staggering $85,000. Now, let's take a journey back in time to the dawn of the new millennium. In 2000, the United States Mint released the New Hampshire State Quarter as part of the 50 State Quarters program, which was a huge success and got millions of people excited about collecting coins. Each state had a unique design on the back of their quarters, celebrating their history, culture, and heritage. New Hampshire's quarter features the famous Old Man of the Mountain Rock Formation, an iconic symbol of the state's rugged natural beauty and its enduring spirit. At first glance, you might think this quarter is just another coin you'd find in your change, but there's so much more lurking beneath the surface. What makes this particular coin so special, and why are collectors willing to pay big money for it? The answer lies in its rarity and some very unique minting errors that occurred during its production. The New Hampshire quarter was minted in massive quantities, but among these millions, a very small number bear mistakes that make them incredibly valuable. One of the most famous errors on this coin is known as the double die obverse error. This happens during the minting process when the coin's design is struck more than once, but slightly misaligned. As a result, the details on the front side of the coin, the obverse, show a doubled or shadowed effect, especially noticeable on the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date. This doubling gives the coin a unique and fascinating look that coin collectors go crazy for. Another rare variant that makes the New Hampshire quarter so valuable is the off-center strike error. Normally, coins are struck precisely in the center of the metal blank, but in some cases, the metal shifts slightly during production, causing the design to be off-center. This error not only adds rarity but also makes each coin a one-of-a-kind piece. Imagine holding a coin that looks like a miniature work of abstract art, something totally different from your everyday quarter. Now, you might be wondering, how does a simple error make a coin worth so much? It all comes down to scarcity and demand. Coins with these kinds of mistakes are not intentionally made, they are the byproducts of minting accidents. Collectors highly prize these error coins, because they tell a unique story about the minting process and add a fascinating twist to a coin's history. Since only a small number of these error coins exist, and even fewer are in excellent condition, their value skyrockets, but that's not all. Condition is everything in the coin world. The New Hampshire quarter from 2000 in a pristine, uncirculated state, combined with one of these rare errors, becomes a holy grail for collectors. The coin's condition is judged on a scale known as grading, where coins are rated from poor to mint state. A mint state coin looks as if it just came off the press yesterday, with no scratches, discoloration, or wear. When you add an error to a coin in mint state, you've got a recipe for a very valuable collector's item. Let's talk about the collector's appeal for a moment. Collectors aren't just buying a piece of metal, they're investing in history, in stories, and in a connection to the past. The New Hampshire quarter with these rare errors represents a moment in time when something unexpected happened at the mint, creating a coin that's truly unique. It's like finding a rare pearl in a sea of shells. For many, the thrill of hunting down such coins and the joy of owning a rare piece makes the whole collecting experience incredibly rewarding. Imagine walking through your pocket change and suddenly spotting a New Hampshire quarter that looks a little off, a little different. Maybe the lettering on the coin seems doubled, or maybe the design doesn't quite sit right in the center. This coin could be the ticket to a fortune that most people don't even realize they hold. So, how much is this incredible coin actually worth? After years of auction results and collector sales, the rare New Hampshire State Quarter from 2000 with a double die or off-center strike error, especially in mint condition, can fetch a jaw-dropping price of $85,000. Yes, you heard that right, $85,000 for a coin that you might have just assumed was a regular quarter. That kind of value makes the New Hampshire quarter not just a collectible but a serious investment piece. For collectors and investors alike, owning a coin like this is like holding a rare treasure that could grow in value over time. It's a reminder that sometimes, treasures hide in the most unexpected places. Before you toss that change aside, take a moment to examine your quarters closely. You might be sitting on something far more valuable than you ever imagined. And if you happen to find one of these rare New Hampshire quarters, make sure you keep it safe, get it professionally graded, and maybe consult with a numismatic expert to unlock its full potential. Top 2. We are diving deep into the fascinating world of the United States Mint to reveal the story behind one of the most intriguing coins you could possibly come across, the Nebraska State Quarter from 2006. If you think all quarters are just everyday pocket change, think again. This particular coin has a hidden secret that has collectors buzzing and could be worth an eye-popping $85,000. Yes, you heard that right, $85,000. So, listen closely, because you might just be holding a small fortune without even realizing it. Let's rewind to the year 2006, a pivotal year in the 50-state quarters program. This program, launched by the U.S. Mint, captured the hearts of millions across the country, encouraging everyone to start collecting quarters featuring their favorite states. The Nebraska quarter features a striking design highlighting Chimney Rock, one of the most famous landmarks along the historic Oregon Trail, symbolizing the courage and perseverance of early pioneers. Surrounding the iconic Chimney Rock are two covered wagons, representing the settlers who braved the wild frontier. The words, Nebraska, and 1867, are inscribed proudly, marking the year Nebraska became a state. On the surface, the Nebraska quarter looks like a beautiful tribute to history, but what really makes this coin extraordinary isn't just its design, it's the minting errors and rare varieties that make it a coveted piece for collectors worldwide. So, what exactly are these errors? First, there's the famous double die obverse error. This happens when the coin's design is struck more than once with a slight misalignment. Imagine the lettering or numbers on the front side of the coin, the obverse, showing a shadow or doubling effect. For the Nebraska quarter, collectors are especially keen on catching this doubling in key areas like Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date, 2006. This subtle doubling is almost like a secret signature from the Mint, and coins that display it are extremely rare and sought after, but that's not all. There's also an intriguing, off-center strike error variant with this coin. Normally, the design should be perfectly centered, but sometimes the blank metal planchet shifts slightly during minting, causing the design to be off-center. This results in a quarter where part of the design is cut off, revealing a blank edge. These off-center coins vary in how far the design is shifted, and the more extreme the misalignment, the rarer, and more valuable, the coin becomes. It's like a beautiful, accidental art piece stamped by the Mint's machinery. What really fuels the fire of collector interest is how few of these error coins exist. Millions of Nebraska quarters were minted, but only a tiny fraction bear these unique mistakes. Combine that with excellent condition, meaning the coin looks fresh off the press, with no scratches or wear, and you've got a coin that can command an extraordinary price. Now, here's where it gets even more exciting. Beyond just errors, some Nebraska quarters come with die cracks or die breaks. These are small, often jagged lines or raised ridges on the coin's surface caused by cracks in the metal die that stamps the coin. These die cracks might look like imperfections, but for collectors, they're prized features that make a coin unique. They add personality and rarity because no two die cracks are exactly the same. Picture this. You have a 2006 Nebraska quarter with a perfect double die obverse, a noticeable off-center strike, and a rare die crack running through the Chimney Rock design. That coin isn't just a collectible, it's a numismatic masterpiece. Now, I want you to really imagine the thrill of discovering such a coin in your pocket or from a batch you picked up at the bank. You take a closer look, noticing the doubled lettering, the shifted design, and those subtle cracks, knowing you found something no ordinary collector possesses. This excitement is part of the magic of coin collecting. It's a hunt, a puzzle, and a connection to history all rolled into one. Collectors prize these Nebraska quarters not only for their rarity but because they represent a tangible piece of American heritage. The Oregon Trail imagery reminds us of the bold spirit of pioneers, and the coin's unique errors make it a conversation starter and a prized possession. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a newcomer to the hobby, spotting these errors requires patience and a keen eye, but the reward can be monumental. Let's talk numbers and market demand. In recent years, error coins like these Nebraska quarters have skyrocketed in value. Auctions have seen bidding wars where collectors compete fiercely for the chance to own one of these rarities. Condition plays a huge role, the better the grade, the higher the price. And remember, the rarer the error, the more collectors are willing to pay. So, what's the price tag on these incredible Nebraska quarters? The rarest varieties, those with prominent double die obverse errors combined with significant off-center strikes and notable die cracks, can be valued at an astonishing $85,000. Yes, that's $85,000 for a single quarter that many would overlook as just common pocket change. This coin is more than just currency, it's an investment, a piece of history, and a prized treasure rolled into one small, shiny disc. The Nebraska State Quarter from 2006 shows us that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. Before you reach for your next quarter, remember to look closely. Examine your coins under a magnifying glass. You never know, maybe you're sitting on a Nebraska quarter that could change your life. Top 3. We're diving into a fascinating chapter of American numismatics, the Louisiana State Quarter from 2002. Now, this isn't just any ordinary quarter you find jangling in your pocket or tucked away in your coin jar. This tiny piece of metal tells a story, one that intertwines history, artistry, and rare minting mysteries that have catapulted its value to extraordinary heights. If you thought quarters were all worth just 25 cents, think again, because this 2002 Louisiana quarter could be your ticket to a stunning $83,000. Yes, that's right, $83,000. So, listen closely, coin lovers, because this story is one you don't want to miss. Let's start with the basics. In 2002, the United States Mint continued its ambitious 50-state quarters program, a campaign designed to celebrate each state's unique heritage through stunning coin designs. Louisiana's quarter was no exception. It beautifully captures the spirit of the Pelican State with its striking imagery. The reverse side of the coin features a soaring brown pelican, Louisiana's state bird, spreading its wings in flight over marsh grasses. Above the bird, you'll find the inscription, Louisiana, along with the year 1812, marking the year Louisiana became the 18th state in the Union. But there's more to this quarter than just its patriotic artwork. While millions were minted and circulated, a special breed of Louisiana quarters has captured the attention of collectors and experts alike. These are the error coins and rare varieties that, despite their tiny size, have proven to be mighty in value. So what makes these Louisiana quarters so special? One of the most talked about rarities is the double die obverse error. This is a fascinating minting mistake where the coin's obverse side, the front, was struck more than once with a slight misalignment. What does that look like? Imagine the words, Liberty, or, In God We Trust, appearing doubled, as if they cast a faint shadow beside themselves. The date, 2002, may also exhibit this doubling effect. This subtle yet unmistakable error makes the coin stand out because it's not something you see every day. In fact, double die errors are among the most prized by coin collectors worldwide, but wait, there's more. Another rare variant is the off-center strike error. During the minting process, sometimes the blank metal piece, or planchet, doesn't sit perfectly in place, causing the design to be partially shifted. With Louisiana quarters, this off-center strike means you might see part of the pelican design missing or pushed to one side, with a noticeable blank area on the coin's surface. The degree of off-centering varies, and the more extreme the misalignment, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. These off-center quarters are like accidental works of art, uniquely crafted by the machinery's imperfection. Collectors are also intrigued by die cracks or die breaks on the Louisiana quarter. These appear as thin raised lines or fissures on the coin's surface caused by tiny cracks in the metal die used for stamping the design. Far from being defects, die cracks give each coin personality and uniqueness, making it highly sought after by numismatists who relish owning coins with such distinct features, imagine finding a 2002 Louisiana quarter that exhibits a perfect double die obverse, has a prominent off-center strike, and features a dramatic die crack running across the pelican's wings. Such a coin isn't just a collectible, it's a masterpiece, a rare treasure that represents the artistry and quirks of the minting process. Now, here's why collectors are so passionate about this quarter. While millions were minted, only a very small number exhibit these rare errors, and even fewer survive in pristine condition. Coins that look as if they just rolled off the mint press, with sharp details and no signs of wear, are incredibly scarce. Combine this rarity with the excitement of spotting errors, and you've got a recipe for a highly valuable coin that can command astonishing prices. Over the years, the market for error coins like the Louisiana quarter has grown exponentially. Auction houses and private sales have seen bidding wars break out, with collectors fiercely competing to get their hands on these numismatic gems. Condition matters immensely. Coins graded by professional services as flawless or near flawless are the ones that fetch top dollar. So, what kind of price are we talking about? For the rarest of the rare Louisiana quarters, those with the perfect double die obverse, a significant off-center strike, and distinctive die cracks, the value can reach an astounding $83,000. That's $83,000 for a single quarter that most people might overlook as just everyday change. This coin is more than currency, it's a connection to American history, a representation of Louisiana's proud heritage, and a testament to the fascinating imperfections of the minting process. It's a treasure that any serious collector dreams of finding, a piece that tells a story with every detail and every minting anomaly. So next time you handle a Louisiana quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. Look for doubled letters, uneven designs, or tiny raised lines that might hint at die cracks. That unassuming coin might just be the rarest treasure in your collection, or waiting to be discovered in your loose change. Top 4. We're talking about the United States State Quarter for Texas, minted in 2004. Now, this quarter might seem like just another piece of everyday pocket change, but what if I told you that hidden within millions of these coins lies a rare variety that can be worth an incredible $80,000? That's right, $80,000 for a single quarter. Stick with me because this story is packed with fascinating details about the Texas quarter's design, its place in the historic 50-state quarters program, and the minting errors that make certain versions extremely rare and sought after by collectors worldwide. If you're a coin lover or even a casual collector, listen closely. This might change the way you look at the coins in your pocket. Back in 2004, the United States Mint released the Texas quarter as part of the second set of the 50-state quarters program, an initiative designed to honor each state's unique heritage through carefully crafted designs. The Texas quarter beautifully captures the spirit and history of the state. It features the iconic outline of Texas with a star marking the capital city, Austin, and a longhorn skull below, symbolizing the state's legendary cattle ranching heritage and rugged Western culture. Millions of Texas quarters were minted and circulated, so you'd think they'd be pretty common, right? Well, yes and no. While the vast majority are everyday coins worth just 25 cents, there exists a rare breed of Texas quarters with minting errors and unique variations that have pushed their value through the roof. This is where things get exciting. One of the most famous rarities among Texas quarters is the double die obverse error. This happens during the coin striking process when the die, the metal stamp that imprints the coin, shifts slightly and strikes the coin more than once, causing doubling in the details. On affected Texas quarters, you might notice that the inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even the date, 2004, appear doubled or shadowed. It's subtle, but once you spot it, it's unmistakable. Why does this matter? Well, double die errors are among the most sought-after mistakes because they're rare and visually distinct. They turn a common coin into a unique collectible, and for Texas quarters with this error, collectors have paid thousands, and sometimes tens of thousands, of dollars for pristine examples. But there's another fascinating error that adds even more value: the off-center strike. This is when the coin's metal blank doesn't sit correctly in the press, causing the design to be shifted off the center. You might see part of the longhorn skull or the Texas star cut off or shifted dramatically to one side, leaving a blank area on the coin's surface. The severity of the misalignment determines its rarity. The more off-center, the more valuable it becomes. And let's not forget about die cracks and die clashes, which are small raised lines or unusual markings caused by cracks or clashes in the coin dies. These seemingly minor imperfections add personality and uniqueness to a coin, making it a collector's dream. Now, imagine owning a Texas quarter that has a perfect double die obverse combined with a noticeable off-center strike and distinct die cracks. This trifecta of errors can make the coin an absolute treasure, but rarity alone doesn't make a coin valuable, it's also about condition. A coin that looks like it was just minted yesterday, with sharp details and no signs of wear, is worth far more than a worn one. Professional grading services assess a coin's condition and help determine its market value, so collectors pay close attention to these grades. So how much are we talking about for these rare Texas quarters? Exceptional error coins in pristine condition have been known to sell for an astonishing $80,000. Yes, you heard that right, $80,000 for a quarter. It's incredible to think that a small, everyday coin can carry such value, but that's the magic of coin collecting. It's a world where history, art, and rare imperfections combine to create treasures that can change lives. If you're a coin enthusiast or just someone curious about the hidden value in your change, make sure to take a close look at your Texas quarters. You never know if you're holding one of these rare error coins in your hand. Top 5. We're diving into the fascinating world of American state quarters, where ordinary pocket change sometimes hides extraordinary treasures. So before you spend that quarter in your pocket on a gumball, take a good look. It might just be one of the rarest coins from the 50 state quarter series, the Virginia state quarter from the year 2000. Now, this isn't just any state quarter. This coin holds a story that stretches back over 400 years to the earliest days of America, with a design that honors one of the most significant milestones in U.S. colonial history. And what makes it even more exciting? A small number of these Virginia quarters were minted with rare errors, making them worth a fortune to collectors. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll learn why one of these coins could be worth a mind-blowing $76,000. Let's rewind for a moment and talk about the background of this fascinating coin. The Virginia state quarter was released in the year 2000, as part of the U.S. Mint's historic 50 state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Each quarter celebrated the history, culture, and contributions of a different U.S. state, and Virginia chose to commemorate one of the most important chapters in American history, the founding of Jamestown in 1607, the first permanent English settlement in the New World. The design on the reverse side of the Virginia quarter is stunning. It features 3 ships, the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery, the very vessels that brought English colonists to the shores of Virginia over 4 centuries ago. Just above the ships, you'll find the inscription, Jamestown 1607 to 2007, paying tribute to the 400th anniversary of the settlement, even though the quarter itself was released in 2000. The front of the coin, as always, carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, but here's where things get exciting. While millions of Virginia quarters were minted and sent into circulation, a very small number were produced with rare and valuable minting errors. These errors turn a coin from ordinary to extraordinary, and if you're lucky enough to own one in great condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. One of the most talked about errors is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to stamp the design onto the coin shifts slightly between strikes, causing a duplication effect. On the Virginia quarter, this doubling can often be seen in the ship masts, the date, 2000, or the words, Jamestown and Virginia. While the difference may be subtle to an untrained, collectors immediately recognize the value in these doubled features, because they're rare, visually intriguing, and incredibly collectible. Then there's the off-center strike error. This happens when the metal blank, called a planchet, isn't properly aligned in the coining press. As a result, part of the design may be missing, or shifted to one side. On a Virginia quarter, this could mean the tips of the sails are cut off, or one of the ships is only partially visible. Coins with dramatic off-center errors are considered rare works of numismatic art, and they're extremely desirable. We also can't forget about the die break error, sometimes called a cut. These are raised, blob-like areas on the coin, caused by a cracked or damaged die. When this happens, part of the design gets lost under the raised metal, creating a highly unique coin. Some Virginia quarters have been found with large die cracks across the ships or along the rim of the coin, errors that give each piece a one-of-a-kind quality. Now, all of these errors are valuable, but what makes a coin truly valuable is a combination of rarity, uniqueness, and condition. If your Virginia quarter has one of these errors and is in mint or uncirculated condition, it becomes even more special. Collectors, dealers, and auction houses are constantly on the hunt for coins like these, and when one pops up in pristine shape, it can send bidding wars through the roof. But why is the Virginia quarter such a standout in the collector community? Well, it's not just about the errors. It's about history. It's about holding a symbol of the American story in your hand. The imagery of those three ships represents exploration, colonization, and the birth of a nation. Combine that historical symbolism with rare minting errors and high-grade preservation, and you've got a perfect storm for collectability. There's something magical about finding one of these coins in your change. It's the thrill of the hunt, the possibility that you might just be holding a small piece of metal that tells a big story, and holds an even bigger value. So, what's the price tag on one of these rare 2000 Virginia state quarters with verified mint errors in pristine condition? Brace yourself, if you happen to own one of these rarities, especially with a clear double die error, off-center strike, or major die break, and it's been graded by a professional as near perfect, it could be worth as much as $76,000. Yes, that's right, 76,000 US dollars for a single quarter. So the next time you're checking the change in your car console, your coin jar, or even that forgotten drawer in your nightstand, keep an eye out for that Virginia quarter from 2000. Because what may look like just another coin could actually be the key to unlocking a small fortune. Thanks for joining me on this journey through history and hidden value. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories about rare coins, collector secrets, and surprising treasures hiding in plain sight, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest worth. Ask ChatGPT.